Ma'am, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Okay, this is what we have discussed last time. Though we have only one object, one set of object, but it is maintaining for the different orgs. We are maintaining for the different orgs based on the how it is Salesforce is maintaining the records based on the record ID, organization ID and the customer ID. So these two combinations, Salesforce is giving the security to the each record for the based on the organization ID and user ID. Right. So now, just a second. Okay. So now, yesterday we have discussed only the two fields, right? Two fields like organization ID and user ID. Based on this, it should have, it is maintaining the security. But what about other features inside my organization? What about other features inside my organization? Because not only that I'm having the records, not only that I'm having the records, right now it is maintaining the each record based on the org ID, customer ID, it is maintaining the security. But is Salesforce is all about the records? No, it is not about the records. Apart from the records, I have so many things. So apart from the records, we have many things in the Salesforce. When we say many features like applications, I have applications, I have objects, I have tabs, I have fields, I have a page layout. So there are Apex classes, Visual Force pages, Lightning Aura, LWC. So many things are there inside the Salesforce. So how it is maintaining for all of them? So many features are available in Salesforce. So how can we restrict the access on these features to the users? To the users. So Salesforce has given plenty of the features. Like so many things are there, Einsteins, everything, velocity, everything is there. So many features are there, which we can use it in order to implement some kind of a functionality. But here is the thing, that's the reason Salesforce has given a set of features by default. Salesforce has given set of features by default where Salesforce has given you the restriction in order to restrict the visibility. The visibility in order to make the records can be accessible feature, a set of accessible by the right people, right? Now, right now you have two users. So tomorrow there is a new other person will be joining it. Right? If I have another user, then I have to give the access to the all of this. Right? So let's take in another direction. Right now I have a org. This is my org. This is my org that I have created with the credentials. I have created with my credential. As soon as I created the org, I am the owner of the org. That means I have everything, all the access. Starting from the objects to till the all the applications, Apex classes, Visual Force, everybody I have it because I'm the owner of it. When I created it, it is created by my name. I'm the owner of it. That's the reason I have my credential with that username and password. I'm logging into my organization, then I'm accessing each and every feature one by one here. Along with me, now I want to grant access to another user. Along with me, I wanted to grant access to the another user also. That means I'm recruiting some other person inside my organization. I'm recruiting one employee. Temporary, assume that I'm recruiting the person as a temporary, maybe the salesperson or marketing person or some person which is a temporary. Now for this person, whatever some new member is joining into my organization, so those member also the part of my organization, right? So from now onwards, they can access my organization, they can access my application, they can access my records, they can access my feature files. So that means everything they can access it. That means they have a similar access that I have. They have a similar access that have. Now, when I say similar access, how it is possible? Now, first thing, when I try to add a user, when I'm trying to add a user to the, when I'm trying to add a user to my organization, when I'm trying to add a user to my organization, can I add the user directly in my organization? Is it possible? I can directly go ahead and add the user, which are the user that I wanted. First of all, I have my organization very restricted, right? Very restricted. Now, if I wanted to share my organization with anybody, if I wanted to share my organization, my information with anybody, first of all, every user should have a license. User should have a license. License is mandatory. Without license, they cannot access my organization. It is not possible. Without license, they cannot access my organization. They cannot see my application. They cannot see anything inside my organization. So every user should have a license. License is mandatory. Without a license, I cannot create a single user inside my organization. Even for me also, whenever my record is created, whenever I create my credentials for the new org, that time also Salesforce is going to give me the license for this org, saying that you have a license to log into the Salesforce and you can do whatever you wanted to. You can do whatever you wanted because you have a complete license, authority license is there. So that authority license will give me, which enable to access all the information. So right now, this is what is happening. Now let's go back previously, before Salesforce coming into the market. Previously, what we used to do is we have to buy a license separately for a software. We used to buy a license separately for a software. Why we need a separate license in order to get the software into the storage devices? It will be maybe SD card or it will be like a pen drive or something, hard disk. We can store the complete software, the same copy we can install into the 100 subsystems. Right? Okay. Now what we used to do initially is we used to buy a license outside. Okay. Why I need this license? License is basically I need to install any software. In order to install any software, we used to store that information. We used to store this software license into the one SD card or one pen drive or hard disk or something which I use to store it. If it is a pen drive or SD card, right? If it is a pen drive or SD card or some or hard disk, assume that there is a hard disk. Inside the hard disk, I have a software. I have a software which is licensed software. I have a licensed software, and using this hard disk, I can install. Using this hard disk, I can install this software into the 100 systems. It doesn't matter. What I'm doing it here, right now I'm doing it. Right now, this license software I can install into this system, this system, this system. That means one license I am using it for the multiple softwares. One license I'm using it for multiple software, right? This is one concept. Let me give you the real-time concept. So I have a hut. Okay. So I have a hut here. Now inside this, we have 4 members. We have 4 members. We have 4 members. Assume that father, okay, and mother and son, daughter. I have 4 members. Now, with this family, there is a car. There is a car which is available. Now, in order to drive this car, okay, everybody knows the car here. Everybody know how to drive the car. Now, in order to drive the car, I need to have a license. I need to have a license here, right? If father is driving the car, father should have their own license. If mother is driving the car, she should have the license. If daughter is driving the car, she should have the license. And if son is driving it, everybody should have a license. That means before getting into the car, they should first cross verify the license. If they have a license, then they will be able to drive the car, right? Able to drive the car. Without license, it is not possible. You can, the daughter can use the mother license or father license, but how long she can go? She can go only the nearby, just whatever the available small places is there where the police or everybody is not there, who is the checker is not, the police is not there, there only she can go. But in order to go further within the city, right, everybody needs to have a license. When they have a license, they can drive the car. Assume that here a car is nothing but my org. Car is nothing but my org. If a person, if they have to enter into the org, in case if the person has to enter into the car, then this person should have a license. In case if this person is entering into my org, this person should have a license. If this person is trying to enter into the org, this person should have a license, and this person also should have a license in order to enter into the org. So basically, the overall outcome is, if I wanted to add a user to my organization, a user need to have a license. License is granting the permission to drive the organization or to drive the vehicle on road. Every person should have this one license separately. Like the similar way, we have our organization, and assume that this is my organization. In my organization, we have so many features are available. So many applications, objects, fields, records, page layouts, and then Apex classes, visual force pages. So many things are available in my organization. If the people want to access my organization, every person should have a proper license to access everything. A proper license to access everything. The user may be the employee, or the user may be the partner, user may be the customer, user may be the end person, or user may be any person. Whatever the user is there, whether he is an employee, admin, or internal person, or a partner, or a customer, or an end user, anybody in the world, whoever wants to access my organization, if the access, everybody should have the access license. Without the license, we cannot add the users to the organization. And it is also depends upon the number of license. It is also depends upon the number of license. That means if my organization says that you have only 2 license you have, that means I can add only 2 users. If my organization says that you have 5 licenses, that means I can add only the 5 users. Depends upon the number of license, the number of users we can add into the organization. Each user should have 1 license. Now the license will decide what kind of a feature that person can access. That will be indicated by the license. Now, where can I see how many licenses do I have in the organization? How many licenses do I have in my organization? Right now, I have a developer addition. Inside the developer addition, go to the company information. Inside this company information, click on this storage space, file storage or anything, right? Or no, not that one. So come to the bottom. Here we have a user license. This is the user license, which is here it is talking about 2 things. One is it is talking about user, and then it is talking about license. 2 things it has in the company information. Now, first we'll go by license by. Okay, license is nothing but this dev organization has 23 license. This dev organization has 23 license. But when it comes to the 23, all 23 licenses, can I create it? That means all 23 users, can I create it? No, we cannot. Now let me show you that. Now, here Salesforce is a license. Salesforce is a license. Is it active? Yes, it is active. This license is active. And how many licenses do I have? 2 licenses. How many used? 2. How come 2 is used? One is the one whenever I create my credentials. When I create my first name, last name, all the details I'll give in order to create the org information, right? So when I give all the information in order to create the org for me, that time Salesforce automatically give me the Salesforce license. Salesforce automatically give me the Salesforce license. Now, what is the other license? I have another record, which is a system admin. So if I go to the users, so here it is going to tell me that system admin. System admin is one is I have my user, which is another dev couple is there, which is another user, and this is my user. T1 is my user, which is part of Salesforce license, and another Salesforce license is couple there, right? So those 2 are already used it. I have a 2 license. Those 2 are already used it. So what is the remaining license? I cannot add any more system admin users. because developer addition has only the 2 license of Salesforce. That means I can create only 2 users, right? These are the free licenses which is given by the Salesforce. These are free licenses which are given by the Salesforce. Whenever we create a developer addition, there are some licenses which will come as part of the org that does not have any expire date. That does not have any expiry date, right? But when it comes to the real time, when it comes to the unlimited access or unlimited, when it comes to the unlimited, okay. When it comes to the unlimited, just a second. Is it visible somewhat?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when it is a real time, if it is a unlimited, every org has a license, right? It is depending on, okay, so here the license you will see only max of max 7 licenses are there. Why this org? This is the real time org. Why this org has only 7 licenses? Because when we are dealing with the Salesforce, first time what happened? Sound last minute. Adore. So initially what will happen is I have a company. Okay, this is my company. Assume that this is a Samskar IT company. Okay, there is a client. Okay, assume that client is Tata Showroom. Okay, Tata Showroom came to me saying that we wanted to implement our application. Will you able to give us that application? Okay, this is the company, IT company, and this is the client, Tata Showroom. Tata Showroom came to the one of these companies saying that we wanted to implement application for our sales executive or the agents. Internally, we wanted to use that application. So what will happen? We are going to have a deal with the Tata company saying that, okay, we will provide it and we will give some kind of a architecture to the Tata company. We will share that architecture. So this is what we are planning to implement it. Complete architecture will be shared. Now, assume that Tata is fine with that architecture. They wanted to go ahead further for implementing the development. Okay, implementing the application. Now, when they decided that, when they are happy with this architecture, the next step is that they have to buy a Salesforce. They have to buy a Salesforce. Tata company has to buy a Salesforce. So what they will do, they will go to the Salesforce company. They will go to Salesforce company. And they will say, in Salesforce company, they will say that we want a org. Tata will go to the Salesforce company. They will say that I need a org. So first thing what they will ask Salesforce is, the first question Salesforce is going to ask Tata is that how many users are you expecting this org? How many users are you expecting it? That means how many users is going to use the Salesforce. Okay, that is the users list. And the next question Salesforce is going to ask is, all the users should have all the access to the Salesforce. All the users should have all the access to the Salesforce. It is going to ask. They will say that probably not all the users may not be required all the access. Okay, that means there is a different licenses we have. Now tell me how, out of, assume that they said that 100 users. They said that 100 users. Out of 100 users, how many do you need for the admin access? They say that 10 members. That means Salesforce licenses 10 members. And next thing they will say that, is there any user who is working on the community where they have a specific access to the only standard object or only custom object or only specific object access where it will be there in the community? Then they will say, yes, we have a community. We are planning to implement the community and probably 20 members are going to use it. So that means I need to implement a community license. So basically, this discussion will happen around 2 weeks or more than 2 weeks to understand each level of the license that company needed. So there is a discussion where deal will happen. So if they say that 100 license, 100 users, I mean, that means 100 license, and then they will decide it what kind of a license to be needed. So based on this discussion, Salesforce is going to give only those license to the company. Only those license to the company. Because they have a restriction that only max 100 users or max 70,000 users or 7,000 users or what are the users are there who are going to access the Salesforce, right? So their company members, that means Salesforce access is nothing but their company. So user will walk into the Tata showroom, right? And when they walk into the Tata showroom, the agent who is sitting in the Tata showroom, the internal person, they have to take all the user information and they have to fill up the form. So who is going to access the Salesforce? Internal members of the Tata showroom, they are going to access it. Right, so they are going to collect all the information from the Tata showroom and they finally decide how many license do they need it and what are the license do they need it. Okay, they said that Salesforce and the community portal community and probably the integration customer community and the charter free. Maybe they say that, okay, we need a charter fee. If they say this kind of information, then they will say that, okay, we are going to give this many license to you while creating the org. And this is the price for these many licenses, right? These many licenses means for each licenses, how many users can I add here? 146 users I can add. So for Salesforce license, how many I have? 146 license I have. Salesforce is one license. For one license, I can add 146 users. How many users are already created? I created the 6 users already created. How many left? 140 users, I can create it more. And what is the expiration date? I have expiration date of 2027. Same with the partner community. Partner community, how many licenses do I have? 88,000 licenses I have. I have not created any user. That means partner community, there is no user for the partner community. How many left? 88,000 users license is left. What is the expiry date? 2027. So these are the deal between the company and the Salesforce. So based on the license, based on the users, count everything, all depending on this, they are going to charge a company that saying that these many licenses we are going to give you and this is the charge for that. So that's how the deal happens between the company and Salesforce. Once the deal happens, then the org gets created. The org gets created with the user license information. right? So in case if my expiration is completed, now I need more licenses here. If I need a more licenses, then definitely I need to have a discussion with Salesforce and asking that I need a more license. For that, they are going to say whatever the deal is there, right? Now I'm using the free developer account. Now I wanted to add some users to the organization. If I want to add a users to my organization in the developer addition, then I can go ahead and create 2 users, which is a sales system admin. And I can create a 5,000 charter free users. Okay, I have created 1 charter free. There are 2 charter free. There are 4,998 is left, right? And also I can create a post.com license, which are 2 license. I have not created it. 2 are left. So as part of the developer addition, I have, let's assume that I have a Salesforce license. Second one, I have a platform license. And the third one, I have a charter free license. And fourth one, we have a customer community license. Now, every time I'm saying license, right? So what is exactly the license is playing a role here? What is the license definition?
It's giving the access to the applications, objects, and everything. Access to the organization.
Right. So license describes a set of features can be accessible by the user, While adding the users to the organization, each user should have a license. Each user should have a license. Without license, we cannot add. Without license, we cannot add a user to the organization. So how many users can I add it? Based on the number of license inside the organization equal to number of users. Number of users can be created. Right? Now, inside the dev addition, we have these licenses. Okay, what are the different type of licenses? We have so many licenses in the org, but let's assume that type of licenses, we are going to talk only few. Type of licenses is we have a Salesforce license and a platform license, as in that Salesforce platform license, charter free license, and customer community license. Salesforce license. Salesforce license is nothing but standard license. Standard license or full license. Standard license or full license. So what it will do, Salesforce license will grant the access on all the standard and custom functionalities inside the organization. That is, what are the all the access means? Apps, tabs, object, field, or different features, page layout, whatever it is there. So all the everything what is sitting in the Salesforce, all the access we will get it. So when it comes to the Salesforce platform license is nothing but, so this platform license will grant access on all custom functionalities. That is custom apps, custom objects, fields, tabs, everything. Okay. And when it is it, and then, so that means what is the difference between the platform and Salesforce license here? So platform license has only, it will grant access to only 5 standard objects. Platform license will grant access to or access on only 5 standard objects. What are those 5 standard objects? Account, contact, document, task, and events. Only these 5 standard objects are shared. How about other standard objects? It will not be shared. We cannot share, we cannot give access to the other objects or other standard apps or other standard fields or features. We cannot give the access. Note, we cannot access the standard apps. And apart from these 5 objects, platform license will, if you have a platform license, apart from these 5 objects, you cannot access any other object like a lead, opportunity, cases, product, opportunity role, or opportunity product. We cannot access anything. Platform license will have only the starting 5 object access will be there, which is account, contact, document, task, and event. Right? That is only those access will be provided by that license. Coming to the charter-free license.
Ma'am, I have a question. See, this platform user license, like, like, can admin like giving permission set to that platform license to increase the access of other standard object like?
Yeah, we can do. So charter-free license is, charter-free license is nothing but this license will grant the access on the charter feed so that the user can communicate with the other members. Through the feed items, we have something called feed items. Through that we can communicate it. But using a charter license, we cannot, we won't add, like it will not grant access to grant the access on any application. So by default, this license will not give access in the license. This license will not have access to the application. Whoever is having the charter license, charter free license, they cannot access any application. Now coming to the customer community. Customer community licenses, basically it is used for the partner. We have a communities, customer community access will be there. Like there is a community portal. We have separately a community portal in Salesforce. So by using the customer community license, by using this feature, we can grant the access to on the community portal to the users. Who is that person sleeping and listening my recording sessions? Is it my session? Who is that person? Somebody is sleeping and listening. Okay. Okay. So these are the licenses. If you take in notes, it will help you. Otherwise, it will not help. Okay. So these are the license, couple of license are there, which we are going to discuss. Like, for example, if we are in the developer edition, how many Salesforce licenses I can create? That means how many users can I create? I can add 2 users. I can add 2 users. Among the 2 users, 1 user is me. Whoever is created the org, that person is 1 user. So how many left? Only 1 Salesforce license I can add. Platform license, how many I can add? 3 licenses, 3 users I can add. 3 users I can add. Charter free licenses will have 5,000 users I can add it. And the customer license only, let's say I can add only 5 users. I can add only 5 users. That means maximum of maximum. We can add only 5 users because that is the maximum of users that we can add, because only those licenses we have. Because only those licenses will have. In interview, sometimes you hear some question when you go for the interview. Okay, they will ask for your current project. The first thing is that you have to give an overview about your project. What are the which project are you working on it? What is the role are you playing into the project? So this is the first initial discussion it starts with. Okay, there are some interviews which happens, they directly ask you for your current project, how many users are available? For your current project, how many users are available? This is the question they will ask. Okay. Not all the interviews, some interviews they will ask in order to know that whether you have a clarity on the project or not. So instead of you thinking on how many users in my project, you can simply say that 7,000 users are available. 7,000 users are available. This is okay to say. Then they will raise a counter question saying that what type of licenses do you have? What type of licenses are you using in your application? What type of license are you using in your organization or in your application? So then you can say that divided Salesforce license. We have a Salesforce, you can say that we have a Salesforce license, 2,000 licenses are there and 2,000 users are there. And we have a platform license, 1,000 1,000 licenses are there. And we have a community license, community portal license. You can say 2,000. Like this, you can divide it and you can tell. Okay. So as soon as they ask how many users you have, people start getting scared there, because that we never see the users, how many users are using my application. Because developer, the first concept of the developer is developer does not care who all are using my application. I just wanted to implement the application and give it to the client. It's up to the client who are using it. So that's the reason, in order to know your overview on the project, they will ask this question: how many users are you, how many users are there in your project? That means how many users are using the application. Right? Now you can say simply 7,000. That is okay to say. It's not a high, it's not a low. You can say that. So where can we see all the license informations?
Under the company information.
Under the company information, where we have a user license. User license. We can go to the company information. We can see the user license information there. Is there any other object that sits into the all the license? Is there any object that sits into the, we cannot see the object information. Okay. So this is basically company information where we can see user license. User license is how it is displaying the data here. This is displaying the row and column, which is similar to the how the accounts are displaying, right? Account row, each one column, how it is displaying. If I go to any object and if I click on the object, and it will show the table format. Same thing it is also, it is showing the table format. That means user license is the object. User license is the object which we cannot see. We do not have access to see the all the user object, user license object. That is the internal hidden object, but it will be stored into the user license object. From the user license object, the data will be displayed here. Because it has to store somewhere at the back end. Then only the Salesforce is going to pull the information and show it on the UI. Right? Where the data is storing into the database, user license is the object where it is storing all the license information. Now, how can I verify? This is what I can verify it. I can go to the company information, user license section, and view the user license available. This is one way. There is another way where you can go to the system overview, where we can go to the system overview. When you go to the system overview, you will see there is an option called most used licenses. There is an option called most used licenses. In the most used licenses, you can see how much percentage of licenses are used here. The highest. If you wanted to see all, you can click on show all. When you click on a show all, it will come to the company information. But here, in case if you wanted to know most used licenses, you can go to the system overview and you can see 100% is utilized is Salesforce license and no other licenses. Right? So this is how we can see the information. So here I have a Salesforce org. Here I have a Salesforce org. This is my Salesforce.com organization. Salesforce.com organization. Right? Inside this organization, how many we have? 5 Salesforce licenses we have. Assume that I have a 5 Salesforce licenses. And how I'm five Salesforce licenses. How am I dividing it? I'm dividing it to the each person. I'm dividing into the each person. This is the user 1. This is user 2. And this is user 3. And we have a user 4 and user 5. How we are giving the licenses? Whenever this user wanted to enter into the my Salesforce, I'm giving the L1 license. First license I'm giving here. First license I'm giving here. Same thing for other users also. Now, if the user 2 want to connect here, he has to have a license 2. Same thing with the license 3, license 4, and license 5. Each member will have their own license. Right? So that's how the connection is happening. If you wanted to log into the user wanted to log into the organization, you need to have a license. So in case if you wanted to create or if you wanted to new license, if you want a new license, you need to have a discussion with the Salesforce team in order to get that license. First, in order to get that license means first thing, company has to give the requirement to the Salesforce. What is my requirement? What kind of a users that needs this kind of a license? So we cannot say I need this license to Salesforce, because we do not know which license suits for the user. So that means we have to say a Salesforce, what is the user requirement there? What kind of information user is going to access? So those information we have to give to the Salesforce. Salesforce will decide which license suits for this particular user. Which license suits for this particular user. So based on that, they will say that, okay, we are giving this particular license to you. You can use it, this license for this particular user, which will have all this kind of objects, fields, apps, effects, what are the access is there, we can access to that. Right? Okay. So from here, we'll continue tomorrow. Any questions before I log off?
Oh, ma'am. Clear.